Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Stoner's Animated Podcast. This week I am joined with my roommate slash BFF for life, Raymond or Raymundo. I call him Raymundo.
Yeah, I don't like Raimundo. Only Star gets to call me Raimundo, so it's cool. I'm chilling.
Today's episode, we're gonna be going I have yet to talk about comic books really into depth, except for maybe that DC episode I did, which was more just about animated series. So today's episode, we're gonna be going through our comic books that we have in our collection. I don't have a lot of comic books, so
I got us. It's cool. It's gonna be a vibe, definitely.
so let's get started. What's up first?
What's up first for me? We start with me, copy. So, as a kid, I was really into like three superheroes, which is like Superman, Batman, and a little bit of Black Panther here and there. But I never got to get a chance to get a Black Panther comic book. Actually, I think you were the first person to get me a Black Panther comic book. That was great. But first, we're gonna start with my Spider-Man collection, because as I was telling the story, when I was a kid, my dad went and bought all the Spider-Man comics out of somebody's house for like 15 cents. So we have Prime, which is Superman versus a superhero named Prime. As you can see, the comic book cover is all black. It kind of like signifies that it's not really too impressive of a comic book. It was just something that they did in terms of a side story, but it's pretty decent in terms of like a good read. I definitely like that. You get towards the classics, which are definitely like when Spider-Man fights the Lizard and he becomes, wow, look at that. The comic book villain we know today.
I'm dead. They got Men in Black on the.
Yeah, they got Men in Black in the back. This is how
That's
old
a
these
VRV.
comic books are.
VCR.
Yeah,
They
there's
just
no back.
does it?
These comic books are so old. Sometimes you'll see ads for like, look, this is a Sega Sonic game ad. But look how genuine that looks. That is
Yeah.
legit a picture on a track with the Sega sign.
Yeah, it's
Like, this
fire.
is dope. And the thing I love about old comic books is that it kind of gives you a little bit of the past, which is super, super dope. So definitely Spider-Man Unlimited, Lizard Prey. Then, of course, it just kind of trickles down to different Spider-Man villains. The crazy thing about Spider-Man is that he's one of the comic book characters that has the most alternate dimensions or different versions of
I
himself.
had no idea. I mean, there is a lot of versions of Spider-Man.
Because
though.
before there was the Spider-Verse movie,
Yeah.
there was a person who was quote unquote the Spider like queen, and she just took different beings from the Spider universe and put them all in one being. Which in the Spider-Man animated series in the '90s, there was an episode, I believe around 60, that she comes out and introduced all the Spider-Men together.
Whoa. What the hell?
She's pretty dope. I wish I knew more, but she's more or less like a cosmic being that travels from dimension to dimension on a big ass dope chair, and her fit is like all red. It has a beautiful white spider on the front, and she has these beautiful
she
shades.
became she got bit by a spider too, or she's like a cosmic.
She's like a
badass,
cosmic
like,
being
the
who, like-
god of spider people.
But like more or less.
Terrible.
And she looks out for Peter because he's like the main spider guy. She looks like, who does that show with Snoop Dogg in the cooking?
Martha Stewart.
She's like Spider Martha Stewart.
No.
She's like Spider Martha Stewart. But one thing I loved the most about Spider-Man comic books is that they never shied away from giving you what Spider-Man you were getting. So for this one, you see it says the Sensational Spider-Man, which is a different alternate timeline. Every Spider-Man has a different, pre-name to their name, which brings you to the IE Spectacular Spider-Man. This is the Amazing Spider-Man, and this is a very important thing, especially with comic books, because a lot of people will try to entwine the stories of the Spectacular Spider-Man as opposed to the Amazing Spider-Man, and everybody has their own specific details. So the Spectacular Spider-Man, he falls in love with his love interest, Gwen Stacy. I hope I'm not getting that wrong, but he falls in love with his love interest, Gwen Stacy. But in the Amazing Spider-Man, he falls in love with what we know as Mary Jane, which is Redhead. But for the most part, I have Sensational, Spectacular, and Amazing. All different.
So are those all like also different universe Spider-Man?
Yes.
Wow.
Because there's even a Spider-Man
But they
that has
all are
clones.
Peter Parker.
They're all are Peter Parker, yes. There are some that are clones of Peter Parker that became different versions of him, which is the Scarlet Spider. That's the one with the hoodie.
Yeah, I like Scarlet.
Scarlet Spider is fire. It's one of my favorite fits in the Spider-Man universe. Now, another thing I do like about Spider-Man is they never shy away from giving you multiple versions of the same villain. This is the Hobgoblin, not to be confused with the Green Goblin. Those are very different goblins. The Hobgoblin story is kind of iffy. I don't really know 100% of it because he's not really a main, so to speak. He has a lot of screen time in terms of movies, shows, but never like live action movies. But this is the Hobgoblin, not to be confused with the Green Goblin. It's a very big thing. I got in trouble with a comic book nerd one time about that. So yeah.
Oh, it's because this nigga almost on the same exact stuff though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what the heck?
He's just a different version of the Green Goblin. One of my favorite things in the Spider-Man universe where they all connected is that Green Goblin and Hobgoblin were fighting together. I thought that was pretty dope. And then, there's OG Doc Ock. And then my favorite comic books are when they cross over. So you get comic books like Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Like, this is OD fire for the fact Spider-Man is one of the only superheroes who have been in almost every superhero team in Marvel. He's been in the Avengers. He's been in the Fantastic Four. He's been in the X-Men. He's so well-rounded. Peter Parker has had a phenomenal life. But this
Even though my son be broke.
He be broke as fuck, bro.
My son be poor.
The only white person I know with no white privilege. This is crazy.
Oh my god.
Superpowers though, so I guess some white privilege, right? This is actually a comic book called Omega. Now, I don't know anything about this comic book. Not gonna lie to you. But what I really loved is that it caught my eye the minute I saw it. And I got this at a convention. I forgot where, but it was like, I think it was a car meet, and somebody just had comic books there. So of course my little nerd ass went straight to the comic books. So this is Omega. It's actually a really cool like series when you read it. And then of course there's another sensational Spider-Man. Like, I have so many Spider-Man comics. But my favorite Spider-Man of all time, GOAT Spider-Man, is Spider-Man 2099. If you don't know, this is what he looks like. Navy blue suit, doesn't have the big white eyes, red trimming across the mask, all the way down to the torso. Phenomenal silhouette. And the greatest thing about this Spider-Man is that he doesn't have your typical Peter Parker powers, because this isn't Peter Parker. This is a future version of what a person tried to do to mimic Peter Parker's powers. And he doesn't have the things that stick to the wall. Actually, talons come out his fingers, and that's how he climbs to the wall. He also has a poison in his fangs that he grew, and his vision is nocturnal now, so he always walks around with shades. Very cool character, very good spin on the Spider-Man universe, because and this Spider-Man 2099 is actually Parker Industries Spider-Man, where Peter Parker becomes a well-known guy, and they know he's Spider-Man, but now he's also a millionaire.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne Spider-Man.
Bruce Wayne Spider-Man.
That's crazy. So wait, like, did he make the spider? Like, how did he?
He made a serum.
Oh my god. Y'all remember this movie? This was the movie growing up. Oh my god.
And the son didn't have any superpowers.
This was the movie. A superhero for the 90s.
If y'all didn't know, this was Meteor Man. It was on Disney Channel, and their kryptonite was
Luther
aluminum
Van Ross
foil.
was in there. I totally forgot that. Oh my god. Sinbad, Big Daddy Kane.
I mean,
Bill
we could
Cosby.
really go through every...
Bill Cosby. James Earl Jones. Yes, wow.
I think Bill Cosby.
Summer '93. This came out before I was even fucking seeding my dad's bowls. Oh my fault. Oh my fault.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the staples are very old.
Heard you. Talking shit.
So you can't really fold them too much. That's why I keep them like and don't move them. I want to get plastic sleeves for them because my sister dropped fucking soda on my comic book.
Oh, that one in particular.
And this was like my favorite Spider-Man. It was so annoying.
Damn.
But look at the back. A lot of 90s shit. A lot of cool 90s shit. This is the first Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, look how bad these graphics are.
90. Oh, yeah.
These graphics is terrible. And you can honestly go through like these comic books and find so much memorabilia, so much nostalgia for sure. First Game Boy games, you know. And then sometimes when you go to these little conventions and you find boxes of comic books, you get lucky and get 2 comic books or 3 comic books in the same series. So which brings you to the Spectacular Spider-Man when he met Scorpion. Now, not only do I have the comic book when he fought Scorpion and met him, I have the comic book where he whips his fucking ass and lets him know who he is. And the funny thing about this comic book is in the back, Mortal Kombat 2. So Mortal Kombat was definitely a theme for the 90s. And if you didn't know, Spider-Man also had his own snack, Crunch Munch.
Wow.
That was like originally like one of the old-timey Spider-Man. Shout out Stan Lee, man. You are a phenomenal human being wherever you're resting. I hope you rest well.
From the Bronx,
From the Bronx, the Boogie. It's so bad.
Like, even when I remember, like, older people talking about Comic-Cons, like, when they were younger and stuff and going, and how much, like, free merch they used to get in comparison to now. Like, when you're... I think the first Comic-Con I ever went to, I was in high school, and I had, like, cut school to go, and I was, like, so stupid.
Fire.
And I had the best time of my life. And I had got a lot of free stuff. And then when I went back again, like 2016, it was not the same. Like, it's just not the... It's more about money now. Like, it's...
Everything's a market.
And then I don't know. And then I guess started blowing up, I guess.
Hell yeah, because everybody became nerds out of nowhere. Everybody became dorks, comic enthusiasts. And I feel like that's Marvel's fault with the live action movies. That's y'all fault. Y'all made it cool for everybody. Now the people who was originally cool at it is like fading away. Because we don't care.
We still care. I think we just care about different stuff. Like, there's people who are into the movies but are, like, also super into the comics that they know, like, how it actually went down. And they're like, oh, the Marvel movie was cool, but, like, the comic books... the books are always better.
Definitely. When it comes to, like, the comic books, I'm very much, like, a comic book knowledge person. I'm not really too big into the movies because, like, I feel like the beautiful thing about comic books is that it takes you to a place where it's not real. Things can just happen.
I think in the comics, like, for me personally, it's just drag. Like, not in a bad way, but, like, they drag. Like, you could take one character, now you could give that whole character their own backstory with their own sidelines and their own, like... And it won't even be bad. It'll just be like...
It's drag.
Damn, and y'all think somebody's going to really be able to put this into a movie and make it as good as it was here? No, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
But that's what Marvel does such a good job at.
I think
Because the problem with DC is that they try so hard to be so comic booky.
But that's the thing. DC is just not... They're not doing it movies. No. The animated series kick ass. Like, they just need to stick to that and keep it... Because... They can do the comic booky thing.
Yeah.
In the animated series.
But I feel like it's the money, like we talked about. It's all about money. The people at Marvel making more money doing the live actions.
But now animated stuff is becoming more popular.
Yeah.
We got Spider-Man Into the Multiverse. That did great numbers.
That did phenomenal.
Great numbers. And
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's because the soundtrack was amazing.
The soundtrack
was amazing, was fire.
But that's another thing too. Movies are now getting better soundtracks. You look at Black Panther, even the new Judas movie has like I heard this Nas song the other day. It was great.
All the superheroes that are black have good soundtracks.
Okay.
Very, very, very fair. Miles is Puerto Rican and black. Feel me? His soundtrack was fire. Has Sway Lee, had Posty with one of the biggest bangers of the summer. For sure. And then they had Black Panther's whole shit was fire. And then some cool back to the comic books. They're shiny comic books. Look how they reflect. These are so cool. This is actually one of my favorite shiny ones because it's just in the middle. But this is actually a giant-sized 30th anniversary Spider-Man comic book. So one of my prizes, I'd like to, put it in plastic form one day, for sure. But I just be so lazy because my comic books don't get touched. Not by no little kids or nothing. I go crazy. The little kid touch my comic book, mess my stuff up. Then this other shiny one is like, this is how it looks this side, but then you can flip it. Boom, and it's the one I showed you earlier. So this is a pretty cool comic book in terms of flipping it. And the shiny stuff is cool just because it's more of an eye catcher. It makes you want to pick up the comic book, look at it, like, oh shit, it's gold. It was a cool comic book, man.
I'm dead.
Then there's like Spider-Man magazine. Sometimes what they do with comic books is like 4 stories in one comic. So sometimes they'll do that just to get like a little bit.
My son's with the X-Men.
Hell yeah, always. Spider-Man is a GOAT. If you don't love Spider-Man, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. And then of course this Chameleon. Now this comic book is cool because the Chameleon is somebody who Spider-Man fought but can never find. He was the person who dressed up like everybody else. That's why you see on the cover he looks like a deformed Spider-Man or disfigured, and that's just because he was pretending to be Spider-Man, doing all these heinous crimes, and Spider-Man had to really fight and show people what kind of person he was and remind them like, yo, this is the real Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't fall for the fake shit. So this comic book, I like this one. I think it looks cool. I think I like looking at Spider-Man and different variations of him because I feel like having a spin-off to any comic book is cool.
That man looked like he had no nose.
No, he doesn't. He cut it off. And now, all these comic books that I'm about to show you are all wrapped in plastic. I love these comic books. These are my favorite because they're mostly like DC, and I'm a really big Batman guy. Well, I'm not going to show that one. Oh, no, there's actually an X-Men one in here, too. So since we're still on Marvel, let's do the X-Men one for sure. Oh, no, and I have more Spider. Y'all about to be in for a treat. Y'all about to be in for a treat. This is great because Star got me. I get to show you the one Star got me. Dope.
To be honest, we was at like Comic-Con and most of these were like $1.
Yeah, but she knows I love comic books, so that's what matters to me. This is the Black Panther comic book. Look how cool it looks. You see how he kind of like jumps out? It's not your typical Black Panther. All the corners and the faces are very rounded. He has the original like foot thing.
You know what's jokes though when I think about it? Even one of my ex-boyfriends bought you some of these comics.
Yeah, for sure. You feel me? Thanks, guy. Oh, yeah. This one also has Spider-Man and Deadpool in it. So Spider-Man and Deadpool are like BFFs. They were kind of like something that they put together because the witty comments, the snapbacks. And so the chemistry that they do when they bounce off each other is pristine. I've actually never even opened this comic book because I'm very much like, if it's in plastic, don't open it. You can read it online. We have the 21st century technology. You don't have to mess with your comic books, people. This is actually this one right here was from Guy. So, you know, this is the 2099 one. And this one actually meant a lot to me because I told homie that 2099 is my favorite Spider-Man, and he got me the Spider-Man 2099 more. Like, this is actually pretty dope.
I know nice people.
Yeah, facts. But this is like such a cool like Spider-Man comic because if you notice, the suit is different. And the reason why the suit is different is because Peter Parker finds the new Spider-Man, gave him his own suit, which is like Tony Stark-esque. So it looks like Iron Man. It looks like it has all these amazing things on it. And he can fly now.
Oh, so it's basically like Spider-Man now.
Yeah. But it's like in the future. That's such a good comic. I really love this comic.
That's fire.
Now, this one is kind of like a off comic book. It's not really like mainstream. It's not something that people know a lot of, but it's called Dark Hawk. And the reason why Dark Hawk is like just your run in the mill, it's because he's an anti-hero. His backstory isn't like the greatest. It's not even memorable, so you know, like that. But it's a cool comic book when you have yours with the Punisher, and we all know the Punisher. Like, come on, he's a Punisher Netflix series. Get on it. But yeah, the Punisher here, and I think that's what sold me to the comic. It wasn't Darkhawk, is that the Punisher had his own little cameo in it. That's pretty dope. Haven't opened this one either.
Punisher is always just putting beats on people.
Facts, but I have never opened this comic book. Most of these comic books in plastic I've never opened. I have one that I've opened, but I've had it since I was a kid. This is another comic book that I got from Star. This is the X-Men, the Golden Age. As you can see, there's Old Man Logan, that's Shadowcat, definitely Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, and a new mutant. I think, well, I don't know who the hell that mutant is. You know?
That looks like it might be Jean.
Jean, you think? Right?
I guess she's
the
giving
orange
me
hair.
Jean. Yeah, definitely giving me Phoenix vibes right now.
Facts. Face tat and all that. It's pretty cool though. But this was $10. Probably not when they bought it, but originally $10. Good comic book. Anything X-Men is usually good because X-Men does a lot of reality warping things because of the mutant gene and things like that. So if you really want to look at a good comic book and stay on it, X-Men for sure.
First of all, this is signed.
And this is why you don't take things out the plastic. Because then you find out shit is signed and you never damaged it.
That's crazy. That's fire.
It's super dope. Wow, this is great. Look at that. Look at the little fine. That was great, Jigs. Alright, so these are my first original comic books that were ever wrapped in plastic. This is another Spider-Man versus the X-Men, but he meets the X-Men in this one. And he fights Magneto. So that's cool. Seeing Spider-Man fight the League of Evil People in the X-Men world is super dope. And I think it's just a really good, authentic, old Spider-Man. Like, look at this suit. This is like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man right here.
He's fighting Magneto is fire.
Right? Look how OG it is. First of all, Magneto being the Malcolm X in that series is crazy.
Magneto, first of all, his helmet is like dead ass, like a helmet. It comes with a collar.
Magneto had a really good fit though. Always for me. I like superheroes that have good helmets.
Sometimes I be tired of the tights. Tights be blowing my.
You know what I'm saying?
They be look crazy.
But it's like you gotta move agile. He's also like super shredded though.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man is Aki. Like, what are you talking about?
Can run over 200 miles an hour, can lift up 20 tons and more. You know when he stands on the wall horizontally?
Yeah, you tell us all the time.
But they don't know. So Spider-Man, when he stands on the wall vertically, that has nothing to do with his powers at all. That's all abdominal muscle. That's his abs. His core tight. Rack, stack up, shack, height. Anyway, this comic book is really cool. So this is my first ever really big, cool comic book for me. Boom. This is when the Hulk's blood actually got into Peter Parker's DNA and he became the Spider Hulk. So really dope. And the greatest thing I love about this comic book is that usually Spider-Man is very neat, which is for most comic books. The title is always very neat, but because it's Spider Hulk, you see the little cracks and indentations. The words are kind of all over the place. But this is one of my favorite comic books because I got to see Spider-Man as a Hulk as a kid and nobody ever believed me. But then, of course, when I showed them the comic, they quickly was like, wow, bro, this is a really good comic. This is a Zod comic book. Now, I'm glad I have one Superman comic book because I definitely want more. This is my new superhero.
Zod?
No.
Oh, Superman? He's your new superhero?
Yeah, he cracked in my top 4. So now he's like, I have to get a lot of Superman shit.
Really?
Yeah, I love Superman. Superman is dope. It's crazy because I used to hate him so much. And I hated him for the same reason Lex Luthor hates him, right? For Superman and Lex Luthor isn't like just trying to fuck with this guy because like fuck this guy. He's trying to fuck with him because he feels like humanity has become too reliant on somebody who's not even human.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, 100% Superman is a god among us.
Yeah,
like
you feel me?
we are weak compared to this man. So I could understand Lex Luthor and being afraid and having fear, but my son Luke drags it. Like he drags it. He practically makes a kid with this nigga. Weird.
Obsession at that point. Weird obsession.
But great villain. That's that's Jeff Bezos.
That's Jeff Bezos.
Like 100%.
That's how we related him.
He just stepped down. He knows something. Lex Bezos.
Lex Bezos.
Lex Bezos.
That's gonna be the Twitter handle. That's gonna be the Twitter handle from now on.
Yo, that he stepped down from his company because he about to work on something else.
Of course, and he's like a bajillionaire, so good for him. And this is another comic book I never unwrapped.
And World Hunger.
That all I have to ask for.
But anyway, Superman.
Go. Superman. The comic. Funny thing about Superman and his powers, he has no limit to his strength. They literally wrote him to be as strong as he needs to be.
Now.
No, from the beginning.
No, because before.
Superman is as strong as he needs to be.
Well, before he still had kryptonite, and then, but now he's like even like Aki to that.
Superman's a goat.
He's wilding right now.
He's a goat. Like, there's not many like him. Honestly.
I love Batman because Batman was... I mean, if he wasn't rich, he would be a regular guy.
True.
Like, who just... Because if you take the money aspect out of it, I don't know. I hope he still would want to fight crime and all that extra stuff. Funny story. One time, me and Raymond were here in our crib having a scythe, chilling and whatnot.
You feel me?
And we were having a conversation with friends about, you know, who's better, like who will be who, Batman or Superman. And I can't hold you. With time, Batman could probably beat anybody. With time, and even now in the comic book, like now he's on that chair shit. Now he's definitely killing anybody, whatever. But before that, when he was just regular Batman versus Superman, Superman will put the beats on that nigga. I'm sorry. He's a regular. One time, Batman punched Superman in his face. And Batman said, let me see it. Let me see your hand. I mean, Superman said, let me see your hand. Because his hand was broken. That's how y'all... And Superman didn't even hit him back, nothing. He was just on some... And this is when Superman bodied the Joker. Spoilers, I'm sorry, but it was crazy.
He actually puts his hand through his chest. Which is like one of the most gangster things you can do. Anytime you have the capability to physically put your hand through somebody's chest, you probably shouldn't do it, and he didn't care. He just went for it completely.
So we're having this debate in the crib, and one person is like very, very like, nah, Batman will definitely beat anybody. Like, I F with Batman, And it gets to the point where my guy says out his mouth, like, I connect to Batman because I seen my parents get shot in front of me. And if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. And if you know me, you know who you are.
Facts. You lost it. Comparing yourself to Bruce Wayne.
Because come to find out, this person's parents is alive.
You know? How dare you, like...
So we don't even understand, like, why they even say that.
Bro? You have parents that are alive and well.
Because when he said it, the whole room got a little quiet.
Yeah, I better shake the room, and he shook it for sure.
But we definitely gave that a moment of silence and was like, feel you, but Batman would still get smoked.
Yeah, absolutely. Superman chooses not to kill anybody. That's me. Chooses. He has to force himself when he walks to not walk too hard because he can cause an earthquake. Like, y'all not. Come on, man. Superman is goated for sure. Smallville, you remember Smallville?
Yeah, I didn't really watch Smallville.
It was dope.
I tried recently watching it because of quarantine, and you know what it was? I started watching I got really deep into this like Scientology whole and cult shit, and it turns out one of the shorties from Smallville was like in the cult.
The white shorty.
Yeah, couldn't look at it the same.
I knew it. She looked like it. She was in a sex trafficking ring and everything.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was a whole cult thing. Like, it was weird. They was branding people.
What? Like cattle?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
It was deep.
Oh my.
What else you got?
Yeah, since we were on Batman. Whoa. We were on Batman, so like I said, sometimes you get really, really lucky and you get 2 or 3 comics from the same series. So I was very much fortunate to find 4 comics from Nightfall. And these I got in front of remember 161? You know 161. You know the
No, going to the movie theater?
Yeah.
No.
There was a guy selling comic books and I stopped and I had like $5 in my pocket, bro. And he was like, yo, bro, you can take whatever you want. I was
First
like,
of all, the
word.
Bronx isn't the place it used to be. Because you could go to 161 and they would have DVDs, CDs, pepper spray, tasers,
Everything.
mad
BB belts.
random stuff.
It wasn't real, but they was beer.
So is it the whole story? Like, that's the whole series of it? Ew, he got rats on his face.
No, this is I think this is a 30-part series, if I'm not mistaken. Or 20. What I have is 6, 10, 17, and 18. I just put them in order. Now, the Nightfall comics are really cool because these are one of the comics where people were trying to mentally break Batman. You have people, the Joker, Scarecrow, and then ending it off with like Bane. And it was like Bane really, really broke Batman to the core where he felt like he couldn't even be the same hero that he was or the person he prepared himself to be. Now, this is from a series called the Detective Comics or the Detective Series of Batman, where you really get to see Batman's will as a hero, as opposed to just his smarts and his brawn, things that we usually associate Batman for. But this was really a testament to how strong he is as a person. And, you get number 6, which is orange and in flare, and it's very eye-popping. I like it a lot. I think it looks really, really cool.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Is the Scarecrow in there?
Scarecrow's in here. That's him right there. This is the Joker. And the thing I like about this Joker is that he's the Jack Nicholson Joker. The very comical, mafioso, like, pretty cool. So this was actually a pretty cool comic. Another comic I've never opened. Like, once they're in here, they don't get touched.
So you read it online?
Yeah.
So you read the whole series?
Not the whole series. I read it online, and then I saw there's a beautiful YouTube channel about comic books. It's called Comic Vin, I believe, or Comic Vine, and also Cosmic Comics. They'll sit there and break down the whole comic book to you, give the perspectives on it. One thing I do like about going to comic YouTube channels, which I do recommend anybody who's trying to get into the comic world, go on these YouTube channels because they'll teach you. They'll teach you a lot and they'll correlate things. Then boom, you get this one, and this is the one was like, ew, sorry, like a bunch of rats. Because that's disgusting. Look, his mouth is open, that sewer water, he got rats in it. Like, they're really breaking Batman's will. They put him in the sewer. They washed him up. I read number 10.
Would rats really bother Batman?
No, he's like, nothing bothers him anymore. He saw his parents die.
Right.
This one is kind of funny, actually, because it's really just Batman popping on somebody in a wheelchair. Now,
what?
Now, I don't know what the homie in the wheelchair did, but I feel like if Batman popped on you, it's probably for a really good reason.
He's dead in the wheelchair.
Yeah, he's like in a wheelchair for sure. This is kind of, at this point, he's just picking on this guy. Because look, he got the talents coming out.
I'm crying.
Yeah, for sure. Batman. The one and only.
That is so jokes.
Really. But these are really good series, man. You should definitely watch the Texas. One of the most like comically accredited. Like, people always talk about when you bring up Batman, they usually bring up this series because it stands out. And this is the one with Bane. And if you don't know Bane, or if you didn't watch The Dark Knight, was it The Dark Knight? No, Dark Knight Rises. He breaks his back. Like, this isn't the comic book that he breaks his back, but this is the series that leads up to him breaking his back, shattering the Batman mentally, will, now body, and he like definitely becomes the person that we know now. Like, but Batman has had mad trials and tribulations. Bruce Wayne really goes through a lot. Another white guy, mad privilege, not using it. You know, he chose to put himself with some bullshit, millionaire. But this is my favorite Batman comic book that I have. My favorite. And this is the Night Quests. And this is the Crusade Detective Comics. So this is when Batman gave up the mantle. So after he got broken by Bane, he gave up the mantle of Batman to a gentleman named Azazel. Now Azazel is the Batman who kills. And you notice that because when Azazel goes to fight Bane again, he goes for a kill shot to the gut. In which Bane replies, "Oh, you're really trying to kill me. You must not be Batman, the real one." So even knowing that little insight of who Batman is or who Bruce Wayne is, Bane was able to, like, Bane is one of the smartest Batman villains ever. He's amazing. But this is Azazel, and this is probably like one of my favorite Batman suits. Look at this. It shines, it has cannons, it has claws, he got a visor, he got these big doofy wings, like, it's beautiful.
He fly?
He fly. And he fly. Amazing.
Nigga got that thing on him.
That's the gun.
That's what I'm saying, like...
That's the gun. He has a gun. He don't play no games. And I don't even think it's a gun. I think it shoot batarangs.
I'm crying. He just looked type evil.
No, he is. He kills people.
I mean... Yeah. That's evil.
Yeah, and murder? For sure. And my final two comic books that I really enjoy, because this one is kind of a recent one, Suicide Squad, where we got to see Batman and Deadshot. And now I had a comic book that got it. So it was pretty cool that I got the comic book around the time that that movie was dropping. So I got to, like, get a little break of, I got a little taste of both. But this is just another comic book where Batman whips ass, and it just so happens to be Deadshot. But Deadshot got his ass whipped a lot, to be fair. The only other person in comics to ever shoot the Flash, that's pretty impressive. I'm not going to hold you, considering that the Flash is faster than the speed of light. And then this comic book is really cool because this is a villain's daughter named Lobos. And if you know Lobos, he's basically an immortal galactic bounty hunter who goes and he bounty hunts and then kills people, and he just walks through fire like nothing. He's one of the only people that can stand toe to toe with Superman.
He has funny ass like filler episodes, I feel like.
Yeah, he was rejected from heaven and hell.
So it's about his daughter?
His daughter came and tried to want to smoke with the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but this is his daughter.
Does she have like his strength? Because why is it like him in the background? Or is that just to let you know that's his daughter?
Yeah. Look at this.
I'm dead. So why she want to smoke with them?
She's a bounty hunter.
Oh, so but who she had to collect?
I don't know. You want to open it?
I guess.
Oh, no, I ain't opening it.
Oh.
Ah, man. I really want to read it, though.
Oh, this is like a new comic.
Yeah. It's my first comic I've ever opened in a while. This is like a thing. Wow. Look at the colors. Look how nice it looks.
You ever like mess up reading sometimes because you read manga?
Yeah, I do that all the time. When I see memes, sometimes I read it the opposite way. And I'll be like, whoa. Nah, his daughter's already a part of the Teen Titans. Because this is Damian's Titans. Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of my comic books
I have no idea what's going on.
that I have is, what is this? Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, I got this like I think maybe my third, no, I'm straight. I think my third Comic-Con, I got this. To be honest, it was just interesting to me. The cover is like Spider-Man, like attacking him, like taking off his suit. So I was like interested. I got it at Midtown Comics little pop-up at the Comic-Con.
Oh.
I got it from there.
That's dope. It's thick, damn.
Yeah, it's
Pause.
OD. It's like a part of a series. Like it's like this is part 1.
Pause.
It's nice though. Like The colors are nice. I don't really take care, I feel like, as much as my manga. Like, I mean, that's one, right?
That's a good one, though.
The other comic I have.
I'm dead.
The other comic I have is Starboy, but it was deadass licensed by Marvel the weekend. Yeah, what you talking about?
Yeah, facts. Shout out the weekend.
He got a
By
whole
having a comic book.
like I felt like that was crazy. Like I'm a big fan, clearly. So when I saw he was dropping a comic, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to get that because it's supposed to be like he's a super like.
He's it.
I don't know any other famous person that got licensed with Marvel to do their own comic book personally. So I thought it was just something dope to have. Like, oh, I'm actually a fan of this person. The licensing was everything to me. Like, the XO Marvel,
Word.
like that's
iconic, actually.
That's fire.
That's super wavy.
And that's my collection.
Feel me?
I have a lot more manga, I feel like.
For sure.
But yeah, these are the only ones I've copped. And I mean, I love the Starboy one more than the other one.
Yeah, we knew that though. That's what's up.
I almost gave this one away one time.
Really?
Yeah, as a gift. But then I was like,
It's pretty
nah.
dope though.
I was like, I should keep this and probably get the other one. But yeah, it's thick.
Should feel like a textbook.
Oh dear. It's jokes to me because don't that really look like Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah. Like Samuel L. Jackson always gonna be Nick Fury from now on.
Right? Alright, well, that's all the comics books I have, and that's all of Raymond's like nice girthy collection. Very
I give away a lot.
I thought you had it.
So I'm usually on the pod playing video games, getting smoked. That's me within this Data Sunday podcast. I'm one half. I'm Slim Nasty. You can find me on this Data Sunday podcast. As Data Sunday Podcast. We also have www.datasundaypodcast.com, and you can catch me on Instagram, Rain, like Purple Rain, future.mond, Raymond.
Yeah, you guys should check them out. They're gonna have like a giveaway coming soon.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna have like a giveaway coming soon for sure. We're gonna do like a little raffle. There's gonna be like little entries and things that you can do. We're gonna give away a grinder, tray, papers, lighter, weed holder. It's gonna be like a kit of things. So if you're a heavy smoker and you like just chilling, we're gonna give you a kit. All you gotta do is follow some instructions, listen, subscribe, things like that.
Yeah, so check them out.
See what we about, man. It's a good listen. Talk about a lot of bullshit, pop culture, music.
Thank you guys for joining. Make sure to like, subscribe, and weekly content. See you guys next time.